Good morning, everyone. Or is it afternoon? It's afternoon now, isn't it? I never know when it's actually connected or not. So we've got a few minutes. Welcome to class. My name's Nikki and we're going to be doing yoga today. I will be saying that again because not everybody logs on early. So today, for those that are here early, if you want to grab yourself, you can see a chair. That might be useful, particularly if you can't sit on the floor. If you can sit on the floor cross-legged, then you don't need to use the chair. Okay. I've also got a strap for people like me who are a bit stiff in the shoulders. And we will be using the strap today. I know I told you to get a strap last week and then completely went out of my head, but I'm sure you used it when you needed to use it. So let's see if there's anybody coming online. Do say hello and drop me a little line at the side if you fancy, or a like in the box. I hope you've had a good morning. The weather's a bit rubbish here, so a bit cooler. If you need to have a little blanket, you can see I've got a little wrap here for the end. You can always grab yourself something like that. Also, that's useful to sit on if you do things like a block when we get down to the floor. Let's see how we got likes already. 13 people watching. Excellent, excellent. So I'm sure you've been enjoying the timetable of classes throughout the week. From next week, just in case you haven't seen or heard, there's going to be some adjustments to the time. So I will be here next week and a little bit earlier because we had obviously assumed that we'd be coming out of lockdown and back to our in-person classes, which sadly we're not. But we've adjusted the timetable so it fits in with the instructors that you like to see. So I'll be here at 11 o'clock next week. Make sure you can set a little reminder on your screen just below. I think you can see it says set reminder. So click on that if you think you might forget. So we've got a minute or so yet until we go to our live time, just in case people are logging on at last minute. So do drop me a line, as I say, to say what you've been doing during the week. You might have been enjoying other classes. We've got aerotone, I think Zumba, as I said before, I love a bit of Zumba with Kelly, and some mature stretch. Dan's doing another stretch class as well. And there's pump, if you like something a little bit more vigorous, and combat, HIIT training. Can't think of what else is on today. I'm the only one here today, but there's some more. Oh, Pilates, of course, that's coming over the weekend. Okay, so we've got a few seconds. Oh, there's more people logging on now. That's good. Say hello in the chat. Hello, Carol. Hello, all. And also don't forget that even if you've missed the live stream at whatever time your favourite class is on, you can go back and view them later. Okay, they're all recorded and you can go back, and I think they're on there for the full week, if not longer. I'm not quite sure about that. So you could do them again and again. Do it every day if you fancy. Okay. Hello, Simon. Nice to see you. Familiar faces coming in now. Okay, so as I say, have a chair and a strap if you're a bit stiffer. You don't need the chair if you can sit on the floor with your legs crossed. But I am going to be doing it on the chair just in case there's people that can't sit down easily while we work on the upper body today. Okay, so we're going to come down to the mat now and do our little warm-up. Usual sort of warm-up that I do for class every week. So once you're lying down, you want to check you've got enough space to stretch your arms over your head, and maybe out to the sides would be a good idea. Make sure you're not going to whack yourself on anything, moving any pets, that sort of thing. And then relax the arms down by the sides. Tuck the chin in to lengthen the back of the neck. And if you find it difficult to lengthen the neck and tuck the chin in, do put a little folded towel or blanket underneath the back of the head if you haven't got a block that you could use. You could always start with the knees bent like I'm doing here, or have the legs flat. And then just taking your focus to your breath. Breathing through the nose if possible. Feel the abdomen rising and stretching as you breathe in, and drawing it downward as you breathe out. Not rushing the breath. Really allowing time for the pauses between each one. So gradually the breath becomes slower and deeper. And then be ready to stretch. So we're going to slide the legs flat. And then as you breathe in, lift the arms up towards the ceiling, exhaling them over the head. Have the legs together. Take a deep breath in, point the toes, tighten the buttocks, reaching into your fingertips and softening on the exhalation. Second stretch, flexing the feet, really lengthen into the heels as you reach behind. Again, softening as you breathe out. Then you can bring the arms down, just breathing normally, bending the knees. And one at a time, bring the knees up to the chest and have the knees apart. Little rock side to side. And then come to center. Place the feet down with a big gap between the feet. Take the arms wide, palms upward. Let the shoulders feel heavy. And as you breathe out, slowly drop the knees over to the right. Let the legs sink down and turn your head to the left. On the inhalation, coming back to center, and then repeat to the other side. Again, turning the head away from the knees. On the inhalation, again back to center. And then sliding the left leg flat and hugging the right knee into the chest. Now, as always, you can keep the leg bent if working the hip is a bit strong for you. Take the knee out to the side, and if you want to work harder, we're stretching out the leg. So we're circling the leg. Big circles. We're doing 3 each way. Don't forget to breathe. Might get a bit of cracking in the leg, just like I do. Rest that leg flat and give it a wriggle out when you've finished. And then we do the same on the other side. Again, paying attention to if you need the knee bent. 3 each way. Once you've done each side, and don't rush, give the legs both a wriggle out, and then resting with the soles of the feet together and the knees dropping open. Supta Baddha Konasana. Now take the arms either wide, or if the shoulders allow, slide the arms closer to the head. Tuck the shoulder blades under if that helps. And then nice, easy breaths. And as I say, this week we're focusing on the upper body. And with the arms closer to the head, even if they're not right alongside the head, this helps to lift the rib cage, open out between the ribs, and it begins to deepen the breath. Means you're working the diaphragm a bit harder. So each exhalation, feel that you're squeezing the abdomen down towards the spine. Again, that deeper exhalation, which means a better inhalation the next time. Next time you breathe out, just slide the feet away along the mat. Give the legs a bit of a stretch. And then bend the knees. And one at a time, bring the knees up to the chest. And we'll have the knees together. So arms back out at shoulder level, ready for a twist. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, take the knees to the left, holding the legs just above the floor. If you get all the way over, inhale, we're coming back. Exhale, other side. Keep that going, following your breath. Exhale to twist. Now, it's more important to tuck the knees up than it is to get close to the floor, unless you can do both. If you feel that it's very easy, you could turn the head opposite side to the knees. But if that's difficult, just keep looking at the ceiling. Next time you go to the right side, make that your last one. Don't rush. And then when you're back to center, placing the feet down onto the mat. Okay, so as I say, we're working the upper body today. So we're going to continue down on the floor for a moment, just to get a bit of movement into the shoulders and potentially into the neck. So I'd like to have one arm down by the side with the palm facing the ceiling, and the other arm you're going to take it alongside the head or as close to the head as the arm allows. So if I do that on the other side, if you're stiffer, you won't be able to get it right up here. You might have to take it out to the side. That's absolutely fine. Just somewhere you can let the arm be heavy. Now we're going to work with the breath. So as you breathe in, lift both arms towards the ceiling and there's a slight pause. And as you exhale, you're swapping over. The other arm alongside the head and the other one down by side. Inhale, we lift, pause. Exhale, we lower, and there's a longer pause. You're following the breath. Just continue with that for a moment. So if you don't feel any stretching or much difficulty in this movement, it may feel like there's not a lot going on, but actually we're using quite a lot of muscles with this movement. And if you wake up with a stiff shoulder or a crick in your neck, this can be quite a good exercise to release tension. So it's inhale to lift, pause, exhale to lower, longer pause, keep it going. Now to make it a bit stronger, if it feels okay, we're going to bring in movement with the head. So the next time you lift the arms, whichever arm is going to go alongside the head, you would roll the head away from that arm. Inhale, you bring the head back to center as you lift, and then exhale, obviously other side. So you're turning the face away from the arm that goes alongside the head. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. And then it starts to increase the stretch down the side of the neck. and underneath the shoulder blade. As I say, if you don't feel this stretch very much, it doesn't mean you're not doing it right, and it doesn't mean it's not working. It just means that maybe you don't have tension in those areas. Last time, as you roll the face to the side. When you come back to center, finishing there, and just relax the arms down by the sides. Just take a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, slowly coming up to sitting. Okay, so a lot of the exercises we're going to do today, I mentioned that we were doing upper body even last week. I've decided to do quite a lot of stretching for the neck and for the shoulders because a lot of people hold tension there. Now that could be because of mental stresses that you've got going on. Everyone's got a certain amount of stress at the moment, I'm sure, and that can manifest itself in your body. So we want to have exercises that are not too difficult that can release that. And also people like myself who maybe had injuries to the neck or the shoulders previously, and then we can tend to hold on to that tension into the joints and in the muscle as like a protection for that area. And you can also fall into bad habits. Other reasons you might be a little bit stiff or habitual. So hairdressers are a favorite for having tension in the shoulders because you're elevating the arms a lot. People that are maybe driving a lot or tend to be a bit slouchy, or gamers. Okay, anybody like that, these exercises are good for you. So if you're able to sit on the floor cross-legged and sit up nice and straight, then you can do these exercises sitting down. That's not a problem. I'm going to sit on a chair because for some people that feels a little bit awkward. And then you can see exactly what I'm doing because I'm going to sit a little bit closer to the camera. Okay, so the main thing is we want to sit nice and tall. And to start off with, at least, we're going to have the arms heavy in the lap. You can have the hands on the knees if you're sitting on the floor. Now I'm going to do a series of exercises, and the first ones are very soft and simple, and you can always repeat those if the ones that become a bit stronger are too much for you. Listen to your body. Obviously, I can't see you, and I therefore can't give you much advice. So just listen to what your body is telling you, okay? There's a difference between it feeling like a strong stretch and actual pain, not working into actual pain ever, okay? So to start off, we were just turning the chin and looking over one shoulder. And just hold that for a couple of breaths. Keep the shoulders heavy and the back nice and tall. And then we're bringing the head back to center. Very good. And then other side. Keep breathing. And then coming back to center. Very good. Going back to the first side now. If that feels okay, we're adding on by nodding the chin down towards the shoulder. And inhale, lift the head back up. Now, as we do that, keep that going. Make sure you're not lifting the shoulder towards the chin. Once you've done it 3 times, pausing, coming back to center, and then to the other side. Okay, chin down, hand up, and down. Good. And when you've done 3, coming back to center, and just relax for a moment. Okay, so we're starting to stretch not only the strong strap muscles in the neck here that you can feel easily, but the scalenes are slightly deeper in, and they attach to the rib 1 and 2, which is underneath your collarbone here. So we don't tend to think of the ribs as coming right up there, but they do. And then to the back of the neck. So they can get very, very tight. So we're going to tilt the head over to one side now, ear towards the shoulder. Keep the shoulder really heavy. You may feel a stretch right down and into, as I say, the collarbone area. So the ones on this side are working and this side are stretching. Inhale, we bring it up. And then exhale, other side. I can probably tell from some of these exercises, I find these quite challenging. And you might be the same. Keep breathing. And inhale, we're coming up. Okay, so we're going to add on with that now. So before we do that, what we're going to do is tilt the head over to the side and think about the way the head is pointing. So I'm looking forward towards you, and then I'm going to swivel the head and look towards the shoulder, but my head is still on the slant. And then forward again. Third time's a charm. Good. And then bring the head upright. Just let it settle for a moment because it needs to release on the other side. And then same thing. Tilt the head. Swiveling, chin towards shoulder. And forward. May feel a bit grindy, or might be able to hear it's grinding a little bit. Doing 3 of those. Don't forget to breathe. And then bringing the head up. Very good. Okay, give the shoulders a little wriggle out. Whatever feels good for you. Okay, now we're going to tuck one arm behind the waist. Now, this involves a bit of shoulder extension. And again, if you've got issues with your shoulder, that might be difficult. So you can see I'm taking my hand towards the back of the chair, or you could take it just to the floor behind you. If it feels okay to tuck the hand behind the waist, then do that. Make sure we're lifting at the sternum to keep the back nice and tall. Turn the chin away from that side, looking over the opposite shoulder. And if that feels okay, tuck the chin down and hold. May increase the stretch in the neck, around the collarbone, even the arm itself, you might feel it. Keep breathing. Lift the chin, head at center, and release the arm. Very good. Okay, other side. Tucking the hand behind, make it comfortable for you. Chin up, chest up. Turn the chin away and tuck the chin down if that feels okay. And as always, one side may feel very different to the other. Inhale, lift the chin, and then head to center and release the arm. Well done. Again, roll out through the shoulders a couple of times. Okay. All right, so we're going to keep the arm heavy on one side now. So I'm going to actually sit on my hand to keep the arm down a little bit. And I'm tilting the head over to that side. Now the opposite arm, I might already feel a bit of a stretch here in the side of the neck, but the opposite arm I'm going to lift out to the side and hold at shoulder level. So I'm loading the weight of the arm into the shoulder and then the side of the neck. Don't forget to breathe. And as we slowly lower the arm, you may feel a lengthening through the side of the neck and the top of the shoulder. Okay, same arm. Inhale to lift. Hold and breathe. Keep smiling, always helps. And then lowering down. Ooh. Third time lucky. Lifting it up and hold. Keep breathing. And then lowering down. Very good. Okay, bring the head upright. As I say, just give it a moment to settle, and we'll swap it over to the other side. So tilting the head, keep the shoulder dropping. Opposite arm lifting now. Shoulder level, hold, breathe. And release. And then lift and hold. Breathe. And coming down. Good, good. And last time, lift and hold. Keep breathing. I'm desperately trying to read the comments from here, but I'm blind as a bat, so I can't. And releasing down. Good. Bring the head up and rolling the shoulders forward a couple of times now. Good. Lovely. Okay, so coming off the chair, if you're on the chair, I'm going to put that to one side. And then we're going to come to standing. So I'll give you time to get up from the floor for those that are sitting down. So standing nice and tall in Tadasana, mountain pose, spreading out the toes, lengthening through the spine, shoulders are releasing down. And just breathe. Okay, so we're going to take the arms out to the sides now. So we're starting to move through the shoulder blades. What I want you to think about is stretching the hands apart, as if you're going to touch the wall on each side. You may feel a stretch. Now I'm going to turn around so you can see that. Okay, so reaching apart. And then thinking about the muscles between the shoulder blades, I want you to draw the shoulder blades towards the center and then stretch apart. Draw towards the center and apart. Keep that going. Thing to notice, if I do this side on, is that we're not squeezing forward and back with the arms. They're just going out and in. From the front, out and in. It's harder than you think. One more. And then release the arms down. It might feel a bit heavy as we're doing that. Okay, so a nice bit of shoulder flexion coming up now. We're bringing the arm forward and then see if we can lift as high as possible. Now, when we're lifting the arm, we are mainly just lifting the arm here. But if we really reach up to the ceiling, we're lengthening through the side, lifting the rib cage, reaching for the ceiling. Okay, keep breathing. And bring it down and stretch it up again. Keep breathing. Often it's easier to do this one arm at a time for those that are stiffer in the shoulder. And bring it down. Last time, reach it up. And bring it down. Good. Release the arms. Do that on the other side. So we stretch, hold and breathe. And down and again. Having to work the diaphragm a bit harder now because of that extra shoulder flexion. And release. Last time, stretch. And bring it down. Very good. Roll out the shoulders. Okay. Now, if I stand with my back to you, what I want you to think about is taking the arm out to the side. Like we did before, we're just doing the one arm. Turn the palm so it's facing behind. And then we're bending at the elbow and see if you can tuck the hand behind the back here. Now you may be able to wriggle the arm up behind the back. You can see my shoulder blade sticking out a little bit here. And from the side, one of the things we want to think about is whether we're rounding. So keep lifting through the chest. Now this can be quite strong down the arm for a lot of people. Just see how you feel. Okay, slowly sweeping that arm out, give it a little wriggle, and we try that on the other side. So we've got the arm out to the side, stretching it away from the center line. Turn the thumb down so the palm is behind, bend at the elbow, tuck it around the back, tuck it up as much as you can. Think about the shoulder going back, lifting the sternum. Don't forget to breathe. See if that feels okay. Now, if like me, this feels quite strong, okay, then you might need a strap, as I mentioned. If you don't have a strap, use a dressing gown belt, anything like that, or a long sock, anything where you can get the, hold one end and the other with the other hand. Okay, slowly taking the arm out to the side and wriggle out. So you want to grab your strap, your sock. Now I've got a very long strap and I'm not very long. So I'm just going to hold half of it, okay? And then I've got mine in my right hand and I'm reaching it up to the ceiling, really stretching up. So I'm lifting through the rib cage, getting as much length through that side as possible. I'm going to turn around. Then I'm bending the elbow and I'm dropping the strap down behind me. So that when I do that stretch that we've just done with the left arm, I'm turning the palm down and tucking it behind. Maybe I can hold the other end of the strap. And maybe you can wriggle the hands closer together down your strap. Other things to look out for when you're doing this stretch, we don't want to be overarching in the back, so keep the tailbone tucking. Elbow is going back as much as possible. Gomakasana, head of the cow, just the arm part. I'm not doing the leg part today. Keep breathing. Okay, so we're going to let go with the lower arm. Slowly take that out to the side, give it a wriggle, and then lifting the other arm up and release. Okay, swapping it to the other side. So reaching up, maybe looser this side, so stretch. Bend at the elbow to drop it down. Other hand out to the side, turn the thumb down, tuck it behind the back. Grab that strap. See if you can wriggle a bit closer. You can see I'm a bit looser this side. Mostly these days, this is not an easy stretch for me. On a good day, might be able to touch my hand. So if you can, that's great. If you can't, doesn't matter. We're just using the prop. It's just all about the practice. Keep breathing. Shoulders are funny things, and if you've had injuries, then it can take a long time to get that mobility back. Very good. Letting go with the lower hand, stretch it out to the side, reaching it up, and then release the strap. Well done. Okay, so you can put that to one side, and we're going to come back down to the mat. So I'm on hands and knees. Now, if on your back, if your shoulder blades, we want to think of them going apart and together. Now, they're not flat, they're slightly curved, and they go around the rib cage, okay? Useful, this exercise, for bringing awareness to what you're doing when you're doing exercises, say like plank or downward dog for that matter. Because if we're not sure what we're doing with the shoulder blades, then we can start getting into bad habits and not getting the connections that we want. So pressing firmly into the palms. Make sure the knee is not too close to the wrist. It's at least as far away as the length of your body. Now we're pressing to start off with, and we're lifting up into the shoulders. I've got my head in line with the spine and a little bit of firmness into the abs. And then I'm going to sink my body down as if between the arms, so the shoulder blades come together or towards the spine. Inhale, I'm lifting back up, and exhale, I'm sinking down. Okay, so they're just gliding around the ribs as we move up and down. Make sure you're not bending the elbows. You want the shoulders to be doing the work. Again, you may get some sticky points where the shoulders don't want to move, or some noises. I know I do. And this exercise for me, when I dislocated my shoulder, was really hard, but it's a lot easier now. Okay, so I'm just getting that movement back in and out. One more down, finishing on the up. Okay, and then take the weight off the wrists in case the wrists are an issue for you, and just give the wrists a little wriggle out. Anytime I'm holding these stretches too long, you take a rest whenever you need, okay, because a lot of people have issues with wrists and shoulders and stuff. Okay, so we're going to do a variation on a cat breath now. Now, a lot of you would know to do cat breath in a certain way, so think about what I'm saying today, because it might be not the way that you normally do it. When we breathe deeply, we want to be able to expand the ribs all the way around. And often when we do the regular cat breath, for people like me who find it hard to get that deep inhalation, maybe because of asthma, or, maybe you had a cough, anything like that, it can feel like it's cutting it off, particularly if you tend to breathe mainly into the chest naturally and you're not used to taking deep breaths. So we want to try and expand the ribs in the back more for this version of the cat breath. So we're going to do it a stage at a time, so you get the feeling of the movement before we start bringing in what you're doing necessarily with the breath. Okay, so back to your cat position. This is also going to work the shoulders, the hips, the knees. Everything is working when we're doing it. So we want to get that nice connection that you just practiced by pressing down into the hands, lifting up into the shoulder. Take a breath in, And as you breathe out, we just sink back towards the heels. Very simple. On the inhalation, you come forward again, back to cat. Keep that going. Exhale, we sit back. Inhale, we come forward. Okay, so we're pushing the air out as we sink back, and we're drawing it in as we come forward. Okay, so first bit of movement I want you to think about now is as you go back, look forward beyond the front of your mat. And then drop the head before you come up on the inhale. Look forward, sink back. Drop the head, inhale, coming back to cat. Keep it going. Now next time you rise up and the head is down, see if you can press into the hands even harder and round the back towards the ceiling. And then you look forward and flatten the back as you sink back. Inhale, drop the head, come forward. Look forward, exhale, sink back. Inhale up, head down. Exhale, look forward, sink back. Really round the back as you come up. And exhale, sinking back. 2 more. Finishing, next exhalation. And resting pose of the child. So classic pose of the child is head on the floor with the arms alongside the legs. But if you've got a bit of a funny neck or your proportion is different, then having the arms forward with your head resting on your arms may be more comfortable for you. Wriggle out through the fingers if that's tough in the wrists. Just take a few breaths. And then slowly coming up to sitting. Now again, if it's more comfortable for you to sit on the chair, you can sit on the chair. I'm actually going to sit on the floor for these ones, but you make it comfortable for you. Okay. Oh, let me come close to the camera so I can show you first of all. So if you're looking at my hand, what we're going to do is tuck the thumb into the palm and wrap the fingers around the thumb. That's what we're doing on each hand. Okay. And then sitting nice and tall, so we tuck the thumb in on each side, taking the arms out to the side, and we're going to rotate the wrists. Not sure if those clicks and cracks are picked up on the mic or not, but mine are really clicking and cracking as we do that. Don't forget to breathe. You may feel it in the elbows. And then going the opposite way. Good. And then relaxing the arms down. They always feel like lead when I do that exercise. Give the fingers a little wriggle out. Okay, so taking the fingertips onto your shoulders now. Remember to keep the spine nice and tall. We're going to bring the elbows together in front. Even if they won't touch, we're bringing them towards the center. Slide the forearms up past the head. Push the elbows behind and down, keeping the back tall. Sweep it forward. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, behind and down. Again. If they'll go together, then do it. It's just I'm sliding mine past the mic if I do that. Good. One more. Good. Then we're going to do 5 the opposite way. So behind, up. Make sure you don't collapse your back as you come forward. 2, 3. 2 more. And then relaxing the arms. Just let the arms feel heavy. A couple of nice deep breaths. Okay, back to the arms out to the sides now. Reaching. So we're going to hug ourselves, one arm on top of the other, holding on to the opposite shoulder, and try and wriggle your hands round as far as you can go. And then tuck the chin down and round the back. And you may feel a bit of a stretching between the shoulder blades. Keep breathing. On the inhalation, we're going to open out wide with the arms. Remember which arm was on top. Look up towards the ceiling. Rewrapping, opposite arm on top. Wriggle it round. Tuck the chin, rounding down. And on the inhalation, again, opening out, look up. And release the arms down, breathing out. Good. If you're sitting on the chair, we're going to take the hands towards the back of the chair, so on the uprights here. Okay, if you're on the floor, you're just taking the fingertips behind you. Use bricks if your hands don't touch the floor easily. So you can feel a slight stretch across the chest. Feel like you're squeezing the shoulder blades together behind, and then lift the chin towards the ceiling without dropping the back of the head onto the shoulders. Keep breathing. And then bring the head back to center and just roll out through the shoulders. Very good. Okay, last one while we're sitting on the floor, and then we're going to do some strengthening exercises. So I've got my fingertips at the side. Now, if you're doing this on the chair, you can do it to onto the chair, but you need to have your legs very wide so you don't feel like you're going to pitch off the chair, okay? Hand at the side. The hand that's going down, make sure you're bending the elbow on that side as we do the exercise. And the idea is to root down with the buttock on the opposite side. So again, reach to the ceiling with one arm. Hand is on the floor, other side. Exhale, we're stretching over. So you may feel a stretch all the way down that side. A couple of breaths. Inhale, we're coming up. Exhale, arm down. Other side. Reach it up, breathe in. If you can do a little bit more, you can look up if you like. And exhale over. Inhale, we're coming up and release down. Okay. Now, if downward dog and things like that are not suitable for you, then you don't have to do these exercises. You could repeat things we did at the beginning of the class. Coming onto hands and knees if we're okay. Now, preparation for down dog, we want the knees and the feet hip distance apart, maybe on the mat. Sitting back towards the heels, stretching the hands forward, spreading out the fingers. Tip forward towards the elbows and knees to tuck the toes under. And as you sit back, you can feel a stretch in the feet, lift the elbows, and then use the legs to lift the tail towards the ceiling. Now, if you're tighter in the legs, better that you have the knees bent. If you're looser, you can straighten the legs. Much looser than me in the calves, you may be able to get your heels down onto the mat. But it's a nice long line from the wrist through the shoulder to the hip. Now with downward dog, obviously it's double shoulder flexion, a lot of load bearing into the arms, and it's a semi-inversion, so it's working our breath harder. Keep breathing. Okay, slowly coming down for a rest, bending the knees. Take the weight off the hands so you can have a little rest with the arms. Now, if that feels quite strong for you, then you can, come in and out and just do a basic downward dog. For those that can do a little bit more, we're going to add into each shoulder in turn. So I'm going to do this facing the camera. So we're going to come back into our downward dog. And this time I'm going to have the legs together. So you can see it's equal load bearing into the shoulders. Now if we lift one leg up behind, pushing into the heel, remember to keep the other knee bent if necessary. We want to try and keep the hips level, and I'm taking more load now into the hand and the arm that the leg is lifting, on the side that the leg is lifting. When you had a couple of breaths, you can bring that down and then do the same on the other side. Don't forget to breathe. So clearly it's working the lower body as well, but it's just getting you used to that change of weight into the hands. When you've had enough, coming down, take a little rest. And then we're going to change it up. So each time I'm taking it a little bit stronger, you don't have to do that. Okay, coming back into your down dog. Keep breathing. This time we're going to take the feet wide apart. You can see mine are as wide as my mat. And then we're testing out how strong we are, maybe into each arm. Now imagine I'm taking my hand over a ball, fingertips on the mat. I'm bending the elbow and then pressing the hand flat. Other side, same. And pressing the hand flat. I'm going to show you that from the front, because what I don't want you to do is lean, and this is what I tend to get quite a lot, is people leaning. Okay, it's bending the elbow and replace. Okay, try that a couple of times each side. If it feels strong, just go back to the leg lift. Okay, if you're okay with that, we can add on by releasing one hand. So we could take the arm away and stretch it alongside the body. Couple of breaths. Bring the hand back. Other side. And bring it back. Trying to keep the shoulders level. Keep going with that. If you feel that you're sliding, make sure that you're not going to do that. When you bring the hand back down this time, maybe just take a rest. Take the weight off the arms. Remember, you can roll out the shoulders, wriggle out through the wrists, etc. Okay, now we're going to leave that one there. And then you might need something like a brick or a block. Now, I often do this exercise with my in-person students. And I'm going to show you the things that can go wrong, because obviously I can't see you. The reason I'm using the block is it's to act as a target. So you're going to place it at the front of your mat. Now, if you're very tall and you take up most of your mat when you're on your hands and knees, put it at the front of your mat, in front of your mat. Okay, we're going towards it, but you definitely want to have your hands and your knees onto your mat. So I'm in cat position, but I've got the knees coming closer together than you might think. Okay, I'm going to take one leg out behind. Now, we did a similar exercise to this when we were looking at lower body work. So we don't want to let go in the abs. So I'm extending the leg out behind, and I'm tightening through the buttock and the thigh to keep the leg straight. I'm not sagging in the shoulders. Remember, I'm connecting in the shoulder. Now we want to bend the elbows, and the bend goes back towards the back end of your mat, not out to the side. And I'm coming forward a little bit towards the target. I am not going away from the target. That's much easier. Okay, bending the elbows, I'm tipping forward and back, but the leg is acting as a counterweight. If you can do 4 of those, if you're stronger, you might be able to go all the way down and back, but we don't want to go all the way down and face plant. Okay, when you've done 4, switch to the other leg. So we're loading more into the opposite arm. Push the shoulders away from the head. Exhale as we dip. So we're building up the muscles in the arms, working towards postures like Chaturanga Dandasana. When you've done your 4, however many you can do, again, just take a little rest. Roll out through the shoulders, the wrists, the elbows, whatever you need to do. Okay. I always say to everybody that I see in person, so just the same when we're doing it online, I'd much rather you do 1 really well than 4 a bit half-hearted or sloppy. Okay, much better that you use the actual muscles that we're targeting and do that really good one and take a rest, then start hunching, and then we're not using the muscles in the right way. Okay, so we're getting rid of that for now. And then we want to come, actually, no, I'm going to get you to use it again. My mistake. We're going to have the knees apart now, and I want your elbows under your shoulders. Now, you've got to think about how wide you are at the shoulder. This would be too wide for most women, I'd say. You want to have it the other way around if you're using a block. If you're using a brick, this one is pretty much the same size. Okay, so have it that way around. If you haven't got anything, it doesn't matter. We want to think about the forearms being parallel on the floor. Okay, spread the fingers. I've just got the block there between my hands to stop the hands coming together like this, because that's what they'll want to do. So my elbows are under the shoulders, pushing into the elbows, so we haven't got the sag in the shoulder, as mentioned, and the knees are apart. Again, we're coming forward and back. Now notice my shoulders as we go forward, they're still away from my head. I'm not going forward and down and hunching. Okay, so press into the elbows. Keep the control in the abs. Exhale forward and back. If you're much stronger, touch the block or the mat with your nose and then come back. If you're much, much stronger, tuck the toes, lift the tail, and we can do it from a sort of downward dog leg. So it's a dolphin position. As you come forward and back. Okay, take it at your pace. This is much better. You should be able to feel your triceps working now, back of the arm. Right down here. Everybody loves a bargain. As I always joke, and it's 2 for 1. So the triceps are acting as a brake as we come forward, so you don't just face plant into the block. And they're doing their main function of straightening out the arm as you come back up. So it's a 2 for 1 exercise. Now, give that a little rest. Wriggle out your shoulders, do whatever feels good, shake out the arms. Now, elbows are a funny thing. And sometimes it's not that you can't do a function with the elbow that you're needing to do for an exercise. It's that your brain is saying, don't bend the arm because you're not strong enough to hold yourself. Okay. And then we start doing weird stuff. So I'd like you to sit back towards your heels and reach forward as if you're going to do downward dog, except we're not. Okay. So the elbow is up and the arm is straight and the fingers are spread. All I want you to do is tip forward and place the elbows down, and then sit back and lift the elbows up. Elbows go down and up. Okay, so we know that they will bend towards the feet. I'm not going out to the side. Okay, it's not like a press up. Okay, it's just that down and up. Okay, now we've done a bit of tricep work so far. So they're starting to pump up. They know what they're doing. Okay. Remember what I said. 1 inch is better than 6 inches if we're doing it in the right way. Okay. So not out to the side, definitely towards the floor. Okay. So we're going to come back to our downward dog. I'd like to take the feet wider. And I'm looking at my toes, and you should be too. All right, so think about bending the elbow as if to drop the elbows to the floor now. Little dip and up. Little dip and up. Make sure the elbows are going towards the feet. If you know you can go right down and right up, then do. What I don't want you to do is down 1 and up 1, like a wave. Okay, we're not doing it like that. It's a little dip and up. Keep the chest pushing back towards the feet. Last couple. And then release. Very good. Everybody hates that one. Okay. And it is really strong. You can feel it into the arms and to the shoulders. So just take it at your pace. And it's one that you can build up slowly. All of these exercises we've done today, I can tell you, I've dislocated both my shoulders twice. None of this stuff we do today could I do when I've done those. So it is possible to build up the strength and the flexibility if you work at it. Okay, it's not a quick fix. Shoulders are really weird and they take a long, long time because of the way that the structure. Okay, so we want to build up that strength slowly. All right, now we're going to come down to the mat and I'm going to do this with my head towards you so that you can see what I'm doing nicely. And hopefully the microphone won't make any weird noises as we do a little twist. So if you watch me for this one, and then we can do it together. So I've got my knees bent with my feet wide apart, and my arms are out to the sides, palms upward. So I'm going to lift one arm and reach it right up to the ceiling. So you can see the shoulder is lifting. And then I'm stretching beyond the other hand to the floor if I can, and then sweeping the arm along the arm that's on the floor, across the chest and back out. Other side would lift, reach, stretch beyond the hand, sweep it along the arm, the chest and to the floor. Okay, so doing it with me now, let you get a chance to lie down. Start with the right arm. Inhale, lift, stretch it up. Exhale, reach right across past the left arm. Slide the right hand along the left arm, over the chest, back to the floor. Left arm, inhale, up. Exhale, reach. And slide. Keep breathing. All the way. 2 more. Each side. Last one. Now, if you're going slower than me, that's absolutely fine. Just give yourself time to finish. And then you want to prepare for relaxation, I think. So if you want to put any socks, tops on. Now, some people, because obviously it's a lunchtime class, if you don't like to lie down to relax, absolutely fine. If you want to sit on a chair, you could do, or you could sit on your block. Classically, we'd lie down in Shavasana, corpse pose, where we're just lying on our back, gap between the legs, and a gap between the body and the arms. And you could just close your eyes. If you're seated, you might like to have a little wrap or a blanket, something that makes you feel cozy, and then just sitting tall. If you're wearing glasses, I would say take those off, because then the face can relax as well as the body. Okay, so we're going to close the eyes. Take the focus inward, back to the breath. Just following the breath in, following the breath out, and really using the exhalations now to try and settle the heart rate. Allowing your body to sink down, smoothing across the brow, softening around the eyes, the cheeks, and through the jaw. Maybe the back teeth are slightly apart. If you're lying down, the head feels heavy. Back of the neck feeling long as you let the shoulders release, sinking down, softening the arms and the hands. Let the hands feel loose. You're vaguely aware of the movement of your rib cage and the abdomen with the breath. Really let the abdomen spread, softening into the lower back. Relaxing the buttocks, the long thigh muscles easing off as the legs become heavy. Releasing down past the knees, into the feet, all the way to the toes. The whole body letting go. And then gradually begin to deepen the inhalations. Make some small movements with your fingers, maybe your toes. When you're ready, have a nice stretch, whatever's good for you. If you're lying down, you might like to hug the knees up to the chest. Little rock, side to side. And then slowly coming back to sitting nice and tall. Take the fingertips either side, really lengthen through the spine. Ready for a deep breath in, reaching the arms wide and up. Palms together, exhale to heart center. Namaste. Lovely, thank you very much for joining me. So remember, I'll be here next week slightly earlier, 11 o'clock. Do put out any comments on the screen. Hope you've enjoyed today. I'm just looking to see anyone that I know here. Oh yeah, lovely, thank you. Lots of likes. So thank you very much, goodbye, and I'll see you next week. But do remember to tune in over the weekend with the other classes. Thank you.